Hi everybody, welcome to a special episode of Gunpla TV, and it's special because I have the latest RG number 18, the RG GN-0000 Raiser, and we thought we'd open up the box in front of the camera, give everybody that preview, and also it looks like I'm going to be trying to do some building when it comes to this kit too. So first thing I'm going to do, let's open the box. Now I admit I've already looked because I had to prepare for this video, but here's the manual, and I want to show this first. Here's those marking stickers. We're all used to these kind of marking stickers when it comes to real grades, but because this is the OO Raiser and it has the riser, when you look at the marking guide on the back, that is a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of markings to do, and anybody who's built a real grade knows that once you finish assembling it, you're not quite done because you've got all the stickers to put on. So let's have a look at the runners, of course. We're getting all these white armor parts here, and there's even parts in here for the weapons. This is a large frame runner. Now, we know that you get, the normal was the B frame, the real grade type frame. It looks like it's the same one that comes with the Exia. So you're going to be adding a lot of extra parts in the form of this runner, and there's even more. There's these two runners as well, which you'll be needing parts for as you build that frame up before you get the armor on there. The A runner will have the extra finish, or sorry, the clear transparent type parts. So that's for the giant GN sword, and these things are probably for the knees. And the little bit of yellow there. And look at this one. You're getting the weapon parts here. Look, these things are enormous. So you get normal beam sabers in here. And then attached to this runner, you're getting the red parts in here that you'll need, as well as the cockpit for your riser. That's pretty cool. Speaking of riser, there's for the most part the white parts for that one. There is another frame runner. Probably this is for the riser as well, and it includes extra hands for you. That's cool. And finally the blue. We're getting to that. There's the shields here that will mount on the side. I've checked the manual and you will be able to mount them. Another frame runner, and finally just this last white part. So you have a lot of runners in this real grade box, more than usual, and this could be probably the most comprehensive, or at least, how do you say, most, it take you the most time to build. Out of the real grades, this is probably going to take you the most time. And we're actually going to get into it and see if that's the case. Okay everybody, I'm back here in front of the camera, ready to build an RG. Now, I noticed, and it is expected, that this frame is the same as the Exia, so I should be able to get through it fairly quickly. Of course, that means also while building legs and arms and stuff, I'm using stickers at the same time, so I have to pay attention to that. I do expect some undergates in here as well, so I'll need to pay attention to the manual closely. And what I plan on doing is, I'll build a leg and I'll probably just stop the camera because you don't need to see me repeat that process again. And I'll try and get through it as quickly as possible, because the part I really want to show everybody is the actual riser, because that's new in this RG scale. So just allow me to start here. The first thing I need to do is get B2 and 3, and if you remember, the Exia was a little different when it came to how they molded this frame, because I think up until the Exia, the frame, legs and arms, legs especially, were like one piece. Well, as you can see, I've got the bottom half of the leg, that is one piece, and then they give you the top part, and it's the pieces you put on around the knee, that armor, and past RGs you just kind of place over top. But this one actually completes the leg frame, so I get those in there like so. I'm going to have to turn this way, and then I'll grab the F runner, and there's enough for like one arm and one leg on here, and I need 6 and 7, so I'll cut those out. And please forgive me if you see a gate mark or anything like that. Remember, I'm going quickly, trying to get this done as quickly as possible so everybody can see just kind of how it works. So let's put these together, lay it in there like that, lay that leg in like so. You can see kind of how it is able to move in there. If you don't clean up this little bit of gate in there, it might impede your movement a little bit. You can feel it kind of rub up against there, but generally it's not a problem. So put those together and seal it up here, and just like that, my leg is now one piece of frame. But now I need some armor parts. So let's get the armor parts. I need C3 for the top, and because I'm doing the right side, I want to have the least amount of gate marks on the outside, which here you can see there's 2 gate marks on this side, one gate mark on this side, 2 gate marks here. So if this is the right side on the right leg, this is the outside, I want to use this piece so there's only 1 gate mark to kind of clean up, or if you don't clean it up, to kind of grab attention of people who are looking at the kit later on. It might not matter so much when you cut out these other pieces, but I'm always careful, you know, if the piece is kind of the same, that I'm using ones that will allow the best, how do you say, representation of the kit when somebody looks at it. And you'll always see the outside of a leg before you see the inside of a leg. So I've got these parts here, and I will just drop these on. That's easy enough, of course. And I can go up back later and clean them up if I need to. Let's put that on there. And then this goes on from the top. Just line it up here. This doesn't look like it's lined up if it's not sliding into place properly, is it? And there's always a hiccup at the start of a build. So, haha. Don't forget that toe is going to be free for now. That was an easy enough correction. C9 is also on this red runner, so I'll grab one of those. I do need a C9, and the white part is number 15. Because they've molded like the D runner twice, one for each leg, you don't get to pick and choose which piece you'll use for that. You're kind of stuck with, you know, what you take. So that's not usually a problem for the most part. And off the E runner, which is more frame, I need number 16, which is this cool piece with a piece sticking up. Now, I've got these pieces here to continue on my foot, but I did notice that I'm going to have to use a sticker. So it says I need number 13. Number 13 on here looks to be this one here. You can see it's got that reflective on it. There's a 13 here as well, but this is obviously not what I'm using. I'm using the foil ones. These are the ones that you more often than not will be using when you are assembling a kit, and you can see it goes on the frame. So I'm going to bend this leg out of the way and put it on these F frame parts here. Okay, that's good. I can now bend that leg back and complete assembly of my foot here. So this goes into the top like that. You have this little tiny kind of mini assembly. Drop that on there, and now this one is meant to go kind of on here like this. So it might impede the foot if you flex it far this way, but I don't know anybody who do that unless they're really leaning their Gundam forward. It should be all right. And I'll finish off the red part I need. Finish off those parts for the foot, as well as part from the D runner. And this is, and I'm paying very careful attention because I don't want to miss these kind of things, because it can cost you time and make your build not look so great. But there is a undergate on this here, so D22 has undergates, and the undergate looks to be just this one right here, and just like that it's gone. So with those on, I might as well put this one on first, and then I'll drop this right on the top. And you can see I've got a foot finished. So now I can, you know, stand it up if I need to. But I'm going to go into the next part, which is kind of working on the knees again. So back to the E runner. These parts here, I need 5 and 4. Four is inside, 5 is outside. And it actually says very specifically that I put this one on first, so let's get that in there. like this before sliding this one on. Okay. There we go. The frame is moving along there nicely. Nothing's kind of holding it back. Okay, so now I need 7 and 8, or 6 and 7, sorry, and a couple more off this runner. And 6 is on the inside, 7's on the outside. And I need 8 and 9 while I'm at it. So those are right here. Because I've got them in my hand, I'll probably put them on first. Another thing I like about real grades, of course they look amazing, is the gates tend to be quite small. You're not going to have to worry too much about them and being unsightly or, you know, sticking out and having to do work on them afterwards. For the most part, they're in a good place, and they're really easy to deal with once you cut them off. Now, I'm going to put this on the inside of the leg. That one's easy enough. Maybe. There we go. Doesn't seem straight though, so I'm going to look at it again here. Let's make sure that I get it all lined up. That's much better. There's a little tab in there you got to watch for. Before I do this one, I have a sticker to put on. Number 8, of course, is this giant thing. So let me slap that on here. He's nice. And I'll get that on there too. Which of course will lead to me having to use these parts here. Number 2, to cover up that sticker I just put on. Number 11. Lots of nice little panel lines in there. You might not be able to see them on camera here, but you will be able to see them definitely when you get your hands on this thing, or when we show you some extreme close-ups when we're taking pictures and whatnot of this thing once I finally get it finished. Okay, back to the E-runner to cover up the hip joints here. Goes in the front. Similar to the XE, it has this opening here, so I imagine we might be pushing something in there afterwards. Last time on the XE, maybe not. Yeah, it covers up with this other piece. On the XE, this was open, so that you had that gimmick which would take the GN swords, so you can plug them on there. Well, you don't get to do that on this one, but that's okay. G123 and 24. I need an E part, number 12, right in here. And then I have to go back to the A runner, I noticed. So let's get that. And I need 14 and 12. Like that. I'll put these here, and I want to bring these out kind of comparison. I don't know if you can see them too well. Let's see what we can do here. Remember, one of the aspects of the real grade, which they heavily promoted when they first put out that first one, the RX-72, was the color separation. You know, we're used to seeing it all white. They gave us a white, and they gave us this off-white type of gray. That has continued with the real grade series all the way up until now, and you can see the RG OO Raiser has it too. We have this color separation. So let me drop these things on here. It says that I need to put this one on first though, so make sure I get that. It goes in this hollow. You know, the XE had a sticker in there and then an effect part. Well, this just kind of covers that up, like so. Then I can cover it up with this armor piece, and I'll drop along the back here. And just repeat the process here with these other parts. It looks like we're almost finished, but we're not there yet. Of course, we have the knee and the back of the knee, so I'll get those. Number 17 it says I need, which is the kneecap. Since that one part I put on at the beginning, we have not seen an undercape. So I can cruise through this one fairly quickly. And number 9, this thing here. Okay, those parts. Now let's keep going here. Put on that knee. Now I'm going to put this one part on first here, and then I'll clip this part on. Snap. And this one actually moves, so as you are bending the leg, this piece can kind of move, although it kind of stops in there, but then again I'm kind of fully bent, so here we go, like this. That is kind of cool. That's looking really sexy, but I got an ankle to worry about, so let me take care of that too. And there is an undergate on this part, so it says right on the very ends here. You would almost miss them if you were not paying attention, which I tend to do sometimes. Like that. 17 goes on from this side. Looks good, and I can kind of clip this up into here, snap it on. It's supposed to make that noise, so let's see if I can get it all the way on. Clip. There it goes. And as you can see, I have an RG Raiser, 00 Raiser, 00 Gundam leg. So I'm going to just shut off the camera and quickly whip up that next leg, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, next Bandai has you work on the body unit, which I usually refer to as the torso, and I've taken the two B-frame, real grade frame parts off the runner already, and I've actually got a couple more parts ready, so I'm going to go ahead and actually slap those together, making sure I line up everything properly, so that drops into there. And we saw this with the XCI, you get that little bit of sideways motion on the upper torso. And then let's put this part in place here. Hopefully I'll get it lined up. It's hard to see where exactly it goes. Like I can see how it goes, but those pegs have to be lined up just perfectly in order for it to slide on there. Okay, I've got that. Now it's going this way. Now these arms will also move independently of that torso. See, if you want a little extra movement in the shoulder, you don't have to worry about that. I'll grab these parts, and this one actually plugs in to the very small pegs here. And when you're putting on this big main front torso piece, you do have an undergate to take care of. Only one, so get that off of there, and then you can slap it together. That's good. And then I'll just drop this on the top too. You can see there's no GN drive plug into the back of this thing, so you cover that up with this armor piece. Now I will get some very small pieces here for this next part. Make sure I can find it. E30 is probably what I'm going to use to kind of open the cockpit, that little hatch there, but it is very small. And I'll get the neck piece here while I'm on it. Got this runner in my hand because I'm going to use some white, or is it blue parts? I need the H runner. And the H runner, it is the blue one. You're only getting one blue runner with your real grade 00 Raiser, and there's not what appears to be color separation. It doesn't look like these colors are, there's any color separation to the blue anyway, so keep that in mind. So I need H3, which is this piece here. And I don't like how I cut that gate off, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit. And then I need a G. Now, if I recall correctly, G was one of the frame runners. I'm right. Now this is, you can see it's mostly, I think, the riser, but you're using parts from this 4-year 00 Gundam as well. Mostly like this really small part here, so get that off there. I moved the camera, zoomed in a little bit from before just so you can see these tiny pieces. I don't know if it's enough though, but yeah, I mean there's only so much I can do here. So this one goes in and slides all the way down, and it's supposed to like snap into place like we're used to hearing. I didn't really hear anything, but it's not moving any further, so I'm gonna hope that I've got it enough, and if not, I'll go back to it in a second. This thing will snap onto this part here, and this is normally where you'd hear that noise, but they didn't indicate in the manual that you would, so I'll leave that be, and then I'll put this on here like so. Put on this neck part. Okay, it drops quite a bit in there. You have to kind of push it all the way in, and there's not too much. There is a fair amount, I guess. Some motion to the neck, but I'm not really worried about that. I don't pose my Gundams with their necks cranked very often anyway. So now let me get a yellow part, and I'll get the next parts ready for the lower part of the torso as well, which is these parts here, 10 and 11. Almost the last of the red parts I'm using here. I think I'll have one more red part for the skirt center block. I think that's what it's going to be. But after that, you know, there's not really any other red on this kit. So this is number C10, and I'll need a frame part. E31. Okay, I got what I think I need here, so let's start with this part, which is supposed to slide on into these grooves in the back here. It doesn't go on from the top, it slides on. And get it as far in as I can. And now, turn this around like we do with most Gundams here. And I'll put these together first here. Do I like what I'm seeing? Like this perhaps. Yeah, there's this little line in here which the manual actually points out you want to the front, so make sure you got that set up properly. And this will drop in from the top here and kind of sit in there. You can see it's there. I'll try to work in front of the camera, sorry guys. You can see that this is kind of how your torso starts. Now, very much like the Exia, you've got to do a little bit of work when it comes to the shoulders. So let me get these first parts off here, 8 and 7. Got you 8 and 7. Interesting placement of the runner. They're not just kind of beside each other, they're opposite each other. And then A11, which is going to be one of these yellow ones. And most people who built the XE are going, I remember this part. It's not too terrible. Now when you built the Exia, you would put this on here and it would turn, but they've got this little groove, and on the underside of this part a little tab, so when you put it on here, it's not moving. This will not pivot, turn, or anything like that. So this goes up from the bottom like this, and then this one goes on from the top like that, and this does not move. So I got to repeat that with the other side. I'll get the smallest part first. Like that. And back to the blue runner. Okay. Drop that in there. In some ways it's kind of easier than the Exia because it kind of stays in place. You don't have to worry about it moving around if you're putting the next parts on, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. I need 4 and 5, and both of these are undergated, so let's make sure I don't miss those. And climb under here, trim that, but this is the undergate right here. Only one, it seems. So 4 goes on this side, nice and snug in there, and I'll get back to this one, get that undergate there, and plug this one on. There you go, like that, and D12. Gotta remember, that's the white runner. This one's not undergated, so it just slides onto this small peg. Let's see if I can line it up. And interestingly enough, like, this will move just a tiny bit, I guess, when you're preparing to open up that hatch. And I'm not there yet, so I'll speculate about that later on when I actually get to that step. So now this, we've seen how you just kind of clamp them around this lower part here. I mean, you're still doing that on this one. However, there are a couple pieces I need to put in here off of this small F runner, and it's F2. And there's only one on this runner, so I'll take that, and then I'll get my second F runner. And I'll get this piece from this runner. So I have 2 of them. And they are going to go on these pegs here. And they're going to kind of point out. So slap those on there. You could probably put them on before you plug this in, but it doesn't seem to matter either way. And plug that on there. I've got the bottom part of the skirt frame here, so manual has you kind of continue with that. So let me grab these parts here. There are some undergates to be found along the top here. 137. Like that. And that red piece that I was talking about just a second ago, I was right. It's going on now. So clean up these undergates. I'll drop this piece into here. Okay, there's something here, kind of a groove. We'll see what that ends up being, sorry, when we get to that part. Center, the skirt just kind of pops onto that little peg I put in there, and it pivots, and it's so much easier than what we've seen with like some of the other RG kits where you kind of have to sandwich these small pieces around that tiny bit of real grade frame. That went on so quickly. I can just turn it over and kind of work on the back, but there's some other things that need to be done here. So I'll get the part I need, which is E1. And again, I need to put in some very, very, very small parts off of the F runner. So this is F1, and these are tiny. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm referring to here, what I'm working with. Look how small that is. Can you see it? And get the same one off its companion runner here. Okay, so these will go on here, and the peg points down, make sure that, and you'll be attaching the thing to the peg in this step. It has you do it. So with those in there, I'm actually grabbing something off of the A runner, this part here. have this part. And then off of both the D runners, which are I can grab part number 8, which is this crazy beam saber handle that they carry around on their butts. So I'll get both of those. Okay, get 2 of those. I might as well put them on first. It says in the manual put them on last, but after you put this part on. But I'm kind of just working the reverse order on that one. So once I have these, I can plug this onto that peg just like before, and this will also move quite a bit. That's a lot of movement in these front and back skirts here. So now I need to turn the page, and actually you're kind of finished with the torso now. What you need to do is prepare the side skirts. So let me get those out right now, which is 25, and their inner gates at the bottom here. So, and it's E217, E1 and E217. Let's find those ones before I carry on here. Okay. And this one. Okay, so remember undergates. Let's go those off of there. And I can attach the frame part and attach the legs. Clip, click, one more time, click, and then I missed a step. It says it's supposed to go in like a ball joint, so I feel I missed something, and there it is. F3, another really tiny part. Sorry guys. I was working with the tiny parts and I missed one of them. Keep that in mind. In this one step, you're basically using F1, F2, and F3 twice over. So I can still work with what I've got here. This little ball joint kind of points up. That's how you need it. You point it up. So I'll just slide it in there. Flip it over, and these side areas on the XEN, the 00, really easy to work with. Lots of space in there to move around. And okay, I've got those little ball joints in place, so let's snap on this part. Snap on that part. And there I go. Can you guys see that? There is my 00 Gundam body for the most part. I got some arms, I got some shoulders, and I got a head to build next. So let's just keep going. I'm going to move this over here, kind of admire it while it stands there looking kind of sexy. And we're working on arms next. So I'm going to build one and then quickly build the second one. So we're starting with the right arm, and it is number 10 on this runner. We'll take this off of here. Remember, you're going to also want to take this hand off. You might come back to that later, depending if you want to use it or not. Let's get these together, like so. This wants to turn around this way, and then make sure I'm looking at the right angle here. This is the front of the arm, so this is going to bend this way because it's the right arm. Okay, so let's start getting those frame parts we need. Back to the E runner, and I need number 15, which is right in here. And I need 28 and 26. They're all in here, all these ones. So you're building both arms off of this runner, it looks like, for the most part. So 28 and 26. So let's put them in here. So, oops, let's put on this side first, so let's do that then. There's that tab there. Let's get that tab lined up. Put it in there. Like that. And then I can plug in the other side. There's no tab on this side, but it fits into there. And this part will slide underneath here. Like that. And of course they will be able to turn. This is your arm, remember. Now I do have some sticker work to do, and it is on the outside of the right arm, so I'll move this out of the way so I can lay it down like this. If I had it bent like this, I would be kind of working on an uneven surface. I could turn it this way and, you know, lay it down. So I'll just pop it up for now because I want to work on the outside of this arm. And there are some small parts that go on there, but first I got stickers. So let's put this here like this. It's not easy for you guys to see, is it? Sorry. Number 6 is a slightly bigger than the number 7, so let's use number 6 first. Now, it has to fit. It's not a perfect circle. You know, there's some gaps, so it has to fit kind of in those gaps. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. And then you're repeating the process with an even smaller one. With even smaller gaps. Oh my gosh. Get in there. Nope. Not satisfied with that either. I'll just adjust it a little bit. Okay. Those are on there. And now I go back to the A runner, which is this, and you have these very, very tiny parts to deal with, and these ones seem smaller, number 3. So number 3 goes in the bottom, and I'm gonna go right there. I don't want to lose this part. I'm gonna put it in there so I get a chance. Push. Okay. And then the slightly bigger one, number 4. Man, these parts are small. Even for a real grade, that's kind of tiny. That one went in there really nicely though. On the other side, you have the same gaps, but you're using parts from the E runner, which is the frame runner. So I'm using 20 and 18. So they're going to be the same size. Very small here. And that's the bigger one. And the smaller one. So, man, they look even smaller when they're not clear. Bear with me while I try to see what I'm doing, which is not quite so easy. But I can do it. Okay, there we go. Now my arm is starting to take shape here. With the A runner, which I just had, I'm going to need piece number 13, and there is 2 of them, but it looks like this is the only piece of white armor from the A runner that you use on the arm. So I got that. And then to the D runner, 19 and 20. And there are undergates on some of these parts here. D19 especially, it says, so you're paying attention to those. And a blue piece, D126, well, I have that in my hand, right here. Like so. And H14, right here. Now, is there anything else I might need before I continue? I'm going to stick with the hands that they gave me. You know, those RG hands that come on the runner, and you have to pull off and then put back in. I'm going to keep those. I've got it right here. I'm going to just, for now, use that hand on this kit. So I'll prepare that hand. So let's make sure I got these undergates off of here. There's that one. And on this one I have these 2. If I don't get these clean, there's no way it's gonna kind of connect properly. So let's see if I can clean it up without cutting myself. Okay. So let's do this thing. This is the front part of the arm. Which slides in here. Yep. The back of the upper arm. Like so. Now this should go on the front here. This should go on the back. A little bit of color separation you'll notice in there. It is kind of hard to see, I admit. And this part slides onto the wrist. So there it is. It will pivot, and you plug your hand on there, and you're going to get a lot of flexibility here. Now, the arm is not quite done. We have a couple very small pieces. Well, one very small piece, I guess. D21, which is supposed to go in there to complete the arm. Okay, like so. Now it slides on from the front. So line it up, slide it on there, put it in place. A little bit of color separation in there. My arm is finished. While I have this here like this, I am going to go ahead and just complete the shoulders because they're really easy. So I'll get that done as well. Then I can just work on that second arm and shoulder. So get that. Wow, this is really easy. Sorry. This small bit of frame, which we're used to seeing, and we're all blue here. H2, H12, which is this one? Yeah, I want to use this one. Less escape marks at the front. I'm picky like that. Clean off a little bit. Okay, so this is like the easiest part of the build ever. Might be the easiest RG shoulder around. I'm going to take that. I'm going to put these together like so. And oh my goodness, that's not so hard. Yeah, you just kind of put this on the top. And I do notice I have a big ugly gate there that I missed. So luckily it's kind of on the inside of that shoulder. You're not going to notice it. So I have the arm and I have that shoulder. And let's actually put this on. And I kind of really like how Bandai has designed this. I pull this back to kind of get this angle. And then what I do is plug that on there. When you have it on there fully, you then push it in the rest of the way. And it's in there. It's not coming off. There's no way it can come off this way. The only way that this arm would come off is for you to bend this whole thing forward and pull it at this angle. So when you're playing with your RGs with this shoulder design, like, you don't have to worry ever about any arms coming off. And there you go. There's my RG so far. Let me just whip through this next arm. I'm going to take a break. All right, welcome back, everybody. And I finished like pretty much the body of this thing. The head unit is next, so I'll be building that, and I'll be going right into the backpack unit. So I'm just going to move this guy over here. Looking good so far, buddy. You stay there. It's very solid. He's not falling over or anything. I am going to proceed with the head, and for that I need number 5. Now, if you've, I've shown these before. If you've built these RGs before, you will see, and it's probably easier for me to illustrate right here, that when it comes to the stickers, you get your choice. So do I want to use this one, which has the green eyes already on there, or do I want to use the clear one and then put these individual eye stickers on there to give it kind of a more depth kind of effect? I always go with the easier one. I find something this small, the benefit you get from trying to use something like this isn't so good, especially if you line it up incorrectly, because it's a lot easier to see a mistake than it is to see something done correctly. So I tend to go with the easier one. So let me pull that off here, and I'll stick it on there. And this is very small, and I'm just kind of putting a black and green sticker on a very green piece and hoping that I kind of get it lined up. And actually, I didn't do too bad. Now it'll be hard for you guys to kind of see how well or how not well I did, but we'll show it to you after. But I'm still using stickers here, so I need this E-runner again. I'm going to be getting the head parts, which are down here at the very bottom, and I've pretty much used the majority of the E-runner already, which isn't surprising because it's just frame parts for arms and legs. So I have these parts here like so. Let's see if I can do this for you guys. I have this, and now I have to put stickers on these very, very, very tiny things. So first one is sticker number 4, and it's not symmetrical. You actually have to make sure you get this angle right now. I don't know what you can see, but this end is rounded and this end has something taken out of it, so it matches the shape that's on the side of the OO Raiser's head frame piece. So lining that up, it might take some work, but I got it. This might be some of the more, how do you say, precise deco work you'll find, or sticker work you will find with an RG kit. But one thing I tend to notice, even though you might worry about having all these edges to have to line them up properly, is that the more edges and corners you have, the more chance or references you have for actually applying that sticker, because you can kind of look at the corners of it and see if everything is lined up, as opposed to maybe gambling a little bit because you're working with a more circular type of thing. But you know, everybody's different, they have their preferences and whatnot. Now I am supposed to try and get this thing into this part here, and I guess it kind of just sits there, sits inside like this. I was a little worried about how it would sit there, because I think a lot of people remember how the head went together on the Exia. There was a lot of work involved in some aspects of it with the transparent piece at the top, and it never seemed like I could get things lined up properly, but so far so good with this head. So let's get this. I'm just going to cut off anything that looks like it is a piece of armor for the head. That way I don't have to come back to these small parts. So I will get these off. Allow me some seconds to kind of cut off what I think I'm going to use. Although there's a good chance I missed something and have to go back. But the one piece I'm supposed to be looking for is the face mask right there, and yeah, it's tiny. It's got a tiny little face like that. Well, I got it in my hand. Maybe I should get it ready here. So I was wrong about that last red part. Look at this tiny thing. How did I forget that he has a red chin? But look at this, how small that is. That is super small. So, man. Okay. 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 You get in there. And once you get that in there, then you can put on this. Man, I don't remember Exia's face being that small. Oh wow. But it might have been, I don't know, but there you go. I got that part. And now I'm going back to this A-runner because I need green. I need green parts, and they are right here. Not too much smaller than what I've already worked with, so I shouldn't feel the need to panic, but it's pretty small. Okay, let's drop these on here and make sure I line them up. There is a little opening that needs to face the front and down, so okay. Okay, there he is so far. Actually going together fairly smoothly. I'll get some of my parts that I've taken off in advance. Make sure I can, oh, let's put that part on after. Drag this parts into here. And now there is a sticker that goes on the back of this guy's head. There you go. And when it comes to like those kind of stickers, I do often wait until I get the head together so I can actually get a better view of the edges, and then I put that sticker on. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'll put that sticker on the back. It just feels a little easier to me. Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's put this on. And now I need this funky, will you call it a V fin in this shape? Would it be a U fin? I'll just drop that in there like that. And then this would be the V, I guess. It goes on. It's quite a long peg here. It drives all the way into the middle of his skull. But you know, that means that this thing is not coming out, which is really, really good. Now, the C part you need isn't red, it's actually clear red. It's the only piece like it on the kit that actually goes in the mobile suit. The other frame, the other clear parts on here are for the weapons or the riser. So drop that in there. It's secure, although I don't know what actually holds it in because I didn't hear anything click, but it's staying, which is kind of what I want it to be. So now I need A15 and 16. Wrong runner, sorry. A15 and 16, which are these parts right here. Sorry, 2 A15s. These are quite small as well. And there's no undergate on them, so make sure you trim very, very close. And then we plug them in from the back. So there's only one edge there that has to kind of slip in there. I think the RG Exia kind of had underneath here like 2 thin edges, and it would pop out occasionally. This has one thicker edge and actually seems to be more secure. I'm not actually worried about that falling out. It seems to go in a little bit farther than what I experienced with the Exia, but you know, there's that 00 head there. So I'm gonna do what I need to do here. Put it on, and oh yeah, look at that. That's cool. I really dig the 00 Gundam. I like the Exia, but I think I like the 00 more. So put them off to the side. Let's move right into the backpack unit. And everything on the backpack unit, like you're building on the shoulders, it is listed here as, let me show you here, backpack unit ×2. So I'm going to be doing everything twice. I might just do one and then go right back into the other one. So I need some parts here. Let me make sure I got the right parts. I need a bunch of round pieces. This is pretty much what I'm needing, right? So I'll prep all these pieces. Shoot. E121. I'm probably gonna need that too, so hold on. E121. There you are. Like so. And an actual transparent piece in here. Grabbing all these. So I've got the pieces I need here. Now, it looks like I have a little bit of work to do here. So before I can do anything, it says I need to put tiny stickers on this part here. Yeah, that's looking like it actually might be difficult too. So I want to figure out how I want to tackle this, so to speak. Like this is going to have to fit into here. Like this, once it is placed around here. Maybe it would be easier for me to do the stickers rather than trying to put it on this tiny edge right here. Actually plug that on. And now you can see this green here. You can see that opening. That's where those stickers have to go. So let me look at these foils here. It's supposed to be A10, and you can see you have 1, 2, 3, 4. But also the very bottom one is A9. So this bottom one here will be this sticker, and the same with the other side. And then these stickers will go on these sides. So let me put the A9 on so I can get that on first, and then not make a mistake with my next ones because I've eliminated that place. So really hard for you guys to see, I'm sure. I'm sorry about that, but there you go. I'll get these other stickers on as quickly as I can here. Yeah, perfect fit. Thank Bandai is, and they spoil us when it comes to fits of parts and stickers and stuff. They fit in there so well, and when you actually are able to line it up like that, like perfectly, you know it, and it's a good feeling. So I'll take this, put it into here, like so. It sits in there nicely, of course. And now I will take this part and drop it on. Make sure that, you know, this opening here lines up with this peg there. But I do see an edge that I don't like here, so a little bit of gate that I want to remove first before I continue. Clean up as best I can. This is the underside, and it's not going to be easily seen, but at the same time, it's a pretty unsightly gate mark. So with that, go back to lining things up, put it in there, and there I go, and it fits in quite well, and you end up with, you know, your, how do you say, the start of your shoulder, the backpack. This might be a GN drive or something, right? So I got that. Let me get the next part I need here. Now, I think you want to do the condenser type, you use this part. If not, you use the GN drive, which is this part. So they do give you that option. That is kind of cool. But I'm going to go with that GN drive, which I always thought looked better. So you're using the most of the parts off the F runner in here, so I'm going to just cut those off for this next stage. And then I don't have to pick this up again. 1, 2, and F10. So, you know, I've already made this. Yes. Yes, okay. Drop this into here. Lines up only one way, so you don't have to worry about it moving around. It'll stay. Maybe this will spin after, I'm not sure. But right now I'm going to build that thing that houses it. So this has to go on like this. Snap, and then flips completely around. Sorry, only that far? I'm down with that. Oh, it's okay. It's going to sit on his shoulder like that, maybe. Okay. This part plugs into the back here. Like this. Now I'm getting a bunch of H parts here, so we're going to go right into it. I need 15. I need 13. And I need an undergated part too. That was 15, but I need number 10 here. Make sure I clean up my undergates. It just seems to be one. Okay, so, and undergate on this part too, right here. Yeah. Okay, so turning this around like this, so I'm exposed to the back here. I will put this part on the bottom. Oh, look, there's another undergate. Hee hee. Don't miss those ones. line up. Good. I see. If this is open too much, you're not going to be able to push this blue piece on. So make sure this is almost closed here. Then you'll have that space, you'll be able to push it. But that means that you're not going to be able to open this latch any more than that. That's it. Okay, so H13. And this one goes on from the top and down. So I don't like that mark. There we go. Does that line up properly? Right in there like that. So here we go. Now, if it says I open it just a little bit, right? It goes closed, open it just a little bit, and it stops there. It's not going to come off again. Open it just a little bit, and find your alignment on your GN drive. Put it in there, and there you are. Now, this on the bottom will slide in there. It's supposed to close it. That's interesting. Which gap is it that needs to go? This thing rotates around, so don't worry about that so much. When you're looking for that alignment, you'll be able to move it around. And once you get it, this thing will come in here and hold it in. So this doesn't seem to be coming out very easily. Like, I can pull the entire white part assembly off, but this frame part is kind of stuck in there really, really well. So with that, I would just kind of drop it on here, right? I imagine, but you know what? Maybe not. So I'm just going to keep following the manual here. Make sure I don't make any mistake of any kind. So ID number 13 on the G runner. I haven't really gone to the G runner so much yet. So now I'm going to be using these parts like this. And what I do is I am going to put this on like this, it says, and then turn it. So lock it. So this doesn't come out. It is locked in there because this is not a perfect circle. There's actually an edge to it. So once you turn it like this, is not going to come off. It's very, very secure. So what I'm going to do is get the next parts off the F runner, F4 and 5 here. And what else do I need on here? F4 and 5. And with these, I then plug it in there all the way. You have to have it at a certain angle. Maybe I push this out of the way just to give myself some room. Plug that on there like so. Now I have to repeat the process for this GN drive. So let me do that, and then I'll show you how to get everything onto the back of the 00. Alright, I got my GN drives finished here. GN drives, you know, you can open them up. Well, unlock the back here. You can kind of open them just a little bit, and like that, and pop them out if you want to. You have to kind of get under here to pull up this blue part, like I found out. If you pull up on this, this will move. So keep that in mind. I'm locking it back down. I have what I need here, and I've got what I need here to kind of finish this giant backpack. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put in the shoulder parts, and they will be able to swivel around as well. And there is one tiny part that is also supposed to fit in here. You can see it's a pretty unique shape, and this little I guess thruster veneer type thing, it will also be able to pivot somewhat once you get everything in there. But I'm not totally finished yet. I got to make sure I close this up before I start moving things around too much. So I'll put that in there. This moves a little tiny bit, and this moves, and this one a little bit as well. So you're getting quite a few places where things will move in there. And now we're not done. What I need to do with this piece is I need to put it in here like so, according to the manual, and then I need to get it up into here. How does that work? Oh, I see. It's very small. Sorry, guys. Oh, there's two openings. This one, there's one here, and they're almost the same size. So this one goes in here. That explains why it was a little loose before. And then this one goes in here like that. And then it falls off. Ha! Cool story, bro. Am I looking at the right thing? Okay. Good. Good. Now how does this work? Because it's meant to flip up. I see what they're doing here. So this goes in like this. Now this will close up and cover this hole here. Now, the angle I showed you in the manual to do it was a little confusing, but there it is. It will flip up in there. But I'm going to keep it closed. You don't see that hole in the back there. And now I can just drop this on. Here we go. These things are able to move around like this. Right, like that. I'll pull the camera out a little bit so you guys have a better view of what I'm doing here. Right, this goes like this. This will move to the back only this much, but will move all the way to the front. It's actually pretty cool. So I'll stand him in kind of this neutral pose. He looks good. And I'm going to continue on. But this next part, they actually have you work on the weapons, which is the GN swords and the shield. I'm going to skip that part because I want to go right to the riser. That's the part that interests me the most. So allow me to get some parts ready for that. In the meantime, just enjoy that guy. Okay, welcome back. I am going to build the 00 Raiser, and you can see that I'm now using this runner. But before I do that, I kind of want to show you something I did. I did a shield, right? And I told you I wasn't going to do the weapons, but I decided, you know, there's only 3 parts to them, and they're just got this little gimmick where this will slide out. And what I noticed is that this is supposed to, you have these 1, 2, 3 places here, but you only have 2 holes for them here. So you're supposed to put them here like so. I'm not going to push it all the way because I want to take it off immediately. But this will sit like this. But you do have the ability to put these together, and apparently how you go about doing that is you pull off this blue part and you move it up to this top one and you plug it in there, which leaves this exposed, these things sticking out. And then what you can do, apparently, if you do the same on this part as well, sorry everybody, give me a sec here. If you do the same on this part as well, you can then, come on, you can then combine these like that. You can see how they fit in here like so. And you got this, you got his giant shield, but you know, that's kind of not what I wanted to do originally. I just thought it was cool and wanted to show everybody. So I'm going to put this back how I had it before, if I can line these things up. Because I want to show you, before I get onto that OO Raiser, how I can mount these things with, I have this little peg, this little peg here. They mount onto that backpack, and there he is. Got those mounted on there. I'll leave those for now. They're on there. That looks pretty cool. I think you can remember, you can totally deck this guy up. But I'll put this over here while I work on the riser. So I do need this runner. This is the eye runner, and I actually need the smallest part from the eye runner. There's only 3, so you know, I've kind of prepped some things here. So what I'm doing is I have this part here, and there is undergate on the end. I've already cut that off. We have 2 parts from the D runners, which are the same, and they are meant to sit in here like so, right? And then what you do with these, where is this eye part? This eye part drops in there like this. This will kind of sit open like that. I'll leave it there for now because I have to get some G parts here, and there are stickers that go on there. I just noticed this. So number 16, which looks to be these ones here, they are meant to go right in this spot here and here. Hard to see. I'll put it on there anyway, and then, you know, when we do close-ups and whatever else, you'll have a better idea. So put that on there. Not bad little opening there, but I think that's the actual proper alignment because they seem pretty symmetrical. And I'll drop this on here like this. Okay, this one looks better than that one, so I'm gonna fix this one. There we go. Yeah, that's what I want, just like that. Hard to see, but they are on there. So once those are on, I take another small part from this G runner and I actually plop it up into here. Like that. So I do have this peg here, but this is kind of in the way right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this in here like this, and I'm going to close it up. There's an under gate on here, but I took that off, and you can see that this should, how do you say, pivot down like that. It goes in, goes out, pivots down. And this is, I imagine, where you're going to plug it in. So your riser, or sorry, your 00 Gundam. So let's go back to how they had it before, which was like this. I'm going to take these two pieces here, push them together like this, slide it on like that. Back to my A runner, and I need 27, which is this here. This goes on from the back. So there's a couple pegs here I need to line up. Let's make sure I can do this properly. They are lined up. Now, G runner, the biggest part in the G runner, which I noticed as soon as I opened up this box, was this piece. You kind of knew as soon as you saw it just exactly what it was you were looking at, and how it was going to be for the 00 Raiser. So here we go. I've got this. I'm going to plug these in like this. Now they kind of sit in there, and it looks like they are able to slide, but I'm going to need to put some stickers on before I proceed. Number 17, which is this one right here. Kind of pulled it off upside down. It is meant to go in the middle here, and that means I have to change the angle I'm putting it on, and maybe I should leave that off while I do so, because I have to go from the top. Yep. Like so, it is lined up. I will now drop this back into place here. Maybe I'll plug it in as much as I can, like so it's snug, not flipping around, and then drop this on. And it just occurred to me that this part is upside down. Ooh. Alright, let's start this again. Oh, it's much easier when you get the part how it should be. Nice. Getting carried away. It's pretty fun. Okay. I need a couple of these pieces here. Once again, G runner, and then that last. And then the first of the larger blue parts here. So I'll get that. I'll get the largest of the blue parts. You go through these runners fairly quickly. Flipping that around, putting that in. Now this goes in like so. Fits in there really nicely. This is of course the bottom. Once you have that, you do have some more blue parts to put on here now. They're very small compared to the blue parts we've used so far, that is. Now these will go right on here by the looks of it. We have this little tab. Don't worry about kind of putting in the wrong one on the wrong side. There's only one way it'll go on, the way they designed that L-shaped tab. And with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find A24, which is a latch, and the big piece from the eye runner. Here we go. You're home, buddy. No undergates on this one, surprisingly. Like maybe you don't really need it. So this will go in here. Go in here and then slide up, or then pivot up. Once you have it that way, it's not should not fall again. So once I've got that, I just need a piece off the E runner before I can close this up. So E42. Like that. Drop the top on, and that's cool. Now they're giving you choices, I guess, if you make is it the condenser? I do have this part which goes on the back. This isn't the part I have to choose, but because I had that runner right with me, I decided to grab it. But where you have to choose is that actual cockpit. Now, it says if you go with the condenser type Soar, you need it off the A runner, A21, which is clear. But I guess if you're going off the normal one, then you're going to go with C. I'm going to go with C because otherwise this poor sole orange piece is not going to get used. And because I don't have a pilot or anything in there, it just makes more sense to me to drop in the orange part. There you go. Well, come on, isn't that cool? Yeah, that's cool. You get back in there. Yep, okay. So I'm almost done that. Of course, I've got these openings here where I will be adding those binders, but one last final thing I have to do is just kind of cover those edges up. So off of the D runners, I'm taking the same part, and there is undergates on these too, so you're not home free yet just by cutting these off. Make sure you clean those up before you put them on. We'll slide them on. Okay, we're going to do like that. There you go. Now, I'm going to put this just to the side here because I have some things to do, and it's all ×2. And I'm actually going to be using the last of these runners here. Like here's the F runner. I'm using the last of this one. And an F17 fits in there too, so. Drop that in there. Other way, like this. Close it up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to proceed to this next step here, and I'll make one binder and then make the second one off camera, so you just don't have to watch me do the same thing twice. D134. D34 is the shorter one, but I'm going to take 32 as well because I know I'm going to be using that very soon. So this will slap. Put this in here like so, and then slide it down is what it says. So let's see if that actually works. So put it in. Make sure this is closed. Slide it down, and when you have it down, then you push it in and lock it. It's now locked. You can see that it will in there. This will probably move maybe later on. If it does, it might get kind of tricky, but for now, let's just leave it there. So I need a couple of these. And last of the F runner parts. I've got that. Now these go together. Well, that's easy enough. No problem, right? Okay, well once you have it, now you got stickers to put on. And you actually have to put on 2 of them. Now it's number 11, which are these green things. Okay. Get these green ones out here. And they are meant to go one on this side and one on this side. Okay, that doesn't look terribly complicated. I'll get one on there and grab a second one. There we go. Okay, and with that done, I can get out this long piece. Now this will go like this, and it looks like it goes on from underneath, and it's meant to go up here, and it will be like this and then slide down. Oh, which, because being blocked makes me I'm doing it the wrong way. So go up from this side. What? But I'm not. Go up from underneath. Slide it in this way. Oh, you have to have this angle. Then it will go down. I had it the other way. Sorry, guys. Just like that. I'm trying to work too fast here because I want to finish this today, and I got a lot of work I need to do here. Let's close this up. You can only close it up when this part's folded down all the way. It doesn't look like it's going to go if you do not do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to get these parts for now, these little fins. There's 4 of them, and they're all labeled H20. So I will grab those. And then I need D130 and 28, and then for the other side as well. D130 and 28 are on the outside as I'm looking at it, this side. And then the last 2 here. Go on this side. Okay, so let's continue on here with what we got going. So make sure this is nice and tight and snug and closed together. That is important. This will go in here like so, and you can see it opens and closes. This comes from the top, so plug this onto the top and then seal it up. And we'll do the same here. There we go. There we go. We've done both. Alright. And now, you can see I'm turning that. At the end here, I still have things to worry about here. So that's where am I? These ones come in. I need 33 and 35. So 33 goes from the top, and from the bottom it's going to be secured. So there's only like trim and stuff, it appears, that I'm going to need to do. So of course I got a larger blue piece, but this is undergated. Make sure you get them all. It looks like there is only 2. This is now able to fit onto here like that. Remember the MG had LEDs in there? That was craziness. I remember that. Now I need 28, and they are all the same, so it doesn't matter which one I cut out, thank goodness. Like that. Put that on. Put that on. That finishes that side binder, like so. Now I got to build a second one, so I'm not going to actually put it onto the riser yet. So just give me a second to build that second one. Okay, you can see I've got everything I need for the old riser. Before I put it together, I want to point out that at the bottom of this, you can see these openings here. Well, I can put things here to make them smooth, which I'll probably end up doing, or I can actually put landing gears, and I can make it just sit, right? But it's also got an adapter, and here's where you'd plug in the adapter so it can sit on the stand. So I'm actually just going to put it on here like this for now. We'll just plug those in like that. You plug them in and you push them forward, and then you can open up, right? So there's one, and now I'll plug this in, push it forward, and I can open up like so, right? So there is the riser here. Let's make it more streamlined. There you go. That looks really cool, eh? That is really cool. Now, of course, it is also going to be able to go onto the Gundam, but you know what? I gotta save something for the proper episode of Gunpla TV, so unfortunately, you guys are all gonna have to wait. Sorry.